Hello there, my name is Apocalypse Hero, professional perk analyst in Fallout 76. And last time I pointed out where the perks were, but I could do so much more. Now I'm going back with a vengeance, because I'm going to identify each perk by whether it's a bad perk, only good for the early game, or a great perk. So these are all the perk cards in Fallout 76. All covered with broad strokes and radical intent, since there are over 200. For the bad, I'll say why they are bad, the early why they lose value, and for the great, why they are great. Starting with strength. Starting with the bad. You'd never carry enough to matter. Perks that encourage not shooting are bad. One-handed melee weapons are also bad. Now for the early game. Damage resistance has a soft cap that late game armors easily reach. After amassing a scrap pile and getting all the armor mods, you really won't carry much of these. Fusion cores can be amassed easily late game. Now for the great. Heavy weapons, ammo, chems, and explosives weigh a lot. Damage prevention bypasses the armor system. Heavy weapons are good. Shotguns are good. All auto melee weapons are two-handed. Fist weapons are the best traditional melee option, and carry weight is king. Now on to perception. Bows are a terrible weapon type. Pistols are accurate enough. Cap stashes don't give enough caps to be worth it. Glowing enemies are common in Radiation Rumble and nowhere else. Night-based perks are intrinsically bad. You don't need to hold your breath while shooting. Night isn't dark. And for the early game, once you get all the comic books, they aren't worth looking for. There is no shortage of food late game. At some point you'll learn all of these things. Bugs stop being plentiful and aren't that tanky. That being the creatures. Actual game bugs are very plentiful in Fallout 76. There is very little behind locked doors. Resistance soft cap. Automatic rifles are better. And for the great, there are so many bobblehead challenges. Shotguns are good. Rifles are good. Automatic rifles are great. VATS targeting weak spots is a huge damage boost. And bigger boom is a better boom. Now on to endurance. Get out of the water. Get out of the radiation. If you can afford chems, you can afford food. Radiation resistance is negligible at best. Time-related perks are bad day or night. Just use a stim pack or eat. I've never gotten sick from the environment. If you drink enough to get addicted, you probably aren't someone that has to worry about withdrawal. Drink water. This perk is actually really good, but I already baked the image. The well-fed buff isn't important, and you usually just die when going down. Now for the early game. Diseases are easy to cure, food and drink are abundant, radiation and disease from eating are negligible, the flat amount of life pales in comparison to your total HP, there's a resistance soft cap, there are a lot of ways to heal that don't use perk slots, and for the great. Chems are good, flat damage reduction is the bomb diggity, the crippled stagger effect and random ailments suck, a cheaper alternative to What Rads for passive radiation loss. Chems are infrequently used, so withdrawal is an actual threat. Now on to charisma. Most of the charisma-based perks are bad because of one simple reason. Tell those parasites to help themselves. The party perks are way better and activate even when in a solo public party. Bonus charisma does nothing. Pre-war alcohol doesn't do anything. Rad damage is trash. Get some real food, you mosquito. And for the early game, these can be used to tame an animal to keep as a pet. Also, animals are a waste of ammo. Resistance soft cap. There is a daily limit and maximum discount. You can never go faster than 120% speed, which mutations will do. Now for the great. Helps in a pinch. Infinite leveling equals infinite need for XP. Multiplicative damage. Teleporting adds up. Really fun. Mutations are strong. And flat damage reduction is what saves lives. Now for intelligence. Pipe weapons are trash. You'll never attack workshop items. Good for the one dude who's making everyone serums. Just use more Radaway. Just shoot the robot. Now for the early game. Once you use it to build, you can shelf it. Fusion cores can be amassed easily late game. Stim packs are limited early but limitless later. Weapons scrap into abundant materials. There is very little behind locked terminals, and for the great. Making your weapons last longer is great. Power armor is great. Better repairing is great. Ammo weighs a lot. Bonus damage is great. and low HP builds love these kinds of perks. Now for agility. Why do time-based perks even exist? There is a resistance soft cap, and this is too situational. Pistols don't weigh anything anyways. Stealth boys are functionally useless. Fall damage isn't a threat. Auto pistols suck. Just look at the ground. Better options for pistol builds. And for the early game, stealth is a middling option. There's a resistance soft cap. There's a movement speed cap. Pistols just aren't good late game. Once you build it, you can shelf it. Why carry that much food? And for the great, shotguns are great. Action point regeneration is great for anyone. Bonus damage. Stim pack animation severely hurts DPS. Auto retargeting is amazing. Action point efficiency is key. Armor lasting longer is amazing. Duplicates cores and good for starting an ammo farm. And percentage base damage reduction is great. And finally, luck. 7 layers of unreliability. Way too niche. Wood is abundant. Sourcing good baubles is a nightmare. The stimpack savings aren't worth it. Cap stashes are trash. It's unreliable. Too tedious with the auto store junk and resistance soft cap. Everyone knows this is a bad perk. And for the early game, killing them faster saves more durability. You die a lot less the more you play. Crits fill super quickly with the right perks. There is an abundance of loot late game. The stranger uses a weapon you have, which means his arsenal gets worse and worse since your weapons become more contingent on your build, or were picked up to be scrapped. And finally with the great. Big guns are great, mutations are great, getting extra from crafting is great, rifles are great, crits are great, bonus damage is great, AP restoration is great, dodging damage is great, and finally, weapons lasting longer is great.